Happy Saturday, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a great weekend so far. I do want to say thanks so much, of course, as always, for following the page and to keep things updated. I know I haven't been as good about posting on social media, but I've had a lot of weddings. It's just kind of that time of year recently. Um, I was at my one of my best friends from college last weekend, and of course, a few weeks ago, you probably saw the photo. Hunter Sines got married, and then I had a few weeks before that. So it's been a lot of travel, a lot of crazy. But no worries, you have me every single weekend, right through the end of the year. This is my last time being off. I hope you guys are having a great start to the day. It was a warm one, as temperatures were only in the upper 50s and lower 60s in Charlotte. We're normally in the 40s this time of year. So it was warm to start the day. It's going to be warm to end from start to finish. Good morning, Daniel. I hope you're having a great day so far. And a great weekend for some color in the mountains from Jefferson, Valley Crucis, Boone to Blowing Rock. We're at peak color now, past peak for places like Banner Elk all the way to Grandfather Mountain. Now, I do want to remind folks that even if you're past the peak, all that means is that like the brightest color is probably past at this point. Doesn't mean you can't see some bright reds, some darker reds, some purples. So please get out and enjoy if you can. Good morning, Joy. Always appreciate you tuning in. And honestly, the forecast looks fabulous for any kind of color leaf peeping this weekend. Highs today will be in the low to mid 70s. Same song and dance tomorrow. How often do you think we're at 51 in Boone in late October? It's above average for those folks too, by about 10 degrees or so. So it really is going to be a very enjoyable weekend. Some of the positives, of course, of being rain free. One of the negatives, of course, the fact that we still need rain. Good morning, Kels. Hopefully, you're having a great morning so far. So, of course, as we look at the weekend ahead, we know it's going to be warm. We know it's going to be dry. And a lot of this has to do with high pressure overhead. Kelsey, it is not going to snow anytime soon. No, not anytime soon. At least not here in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia. But we are going to see at least a chance for some rain soon, and that's good news. So basically, the high pressure is going to keep things calm and clear over the next few days. The clockwise rotation around the high is going to continuously pump in southerly and southwesterly winds, which keeps us warm. During the summer, it keeps us really humid too. And although the dew point has technically gone up, it's not that bad just because of the time of year. So dew points in the 50s and 60s are still very comfortable. But eventually a cold front's going to move through the area. This is going to increase our cloud cover on Tuesday and even bring us a chance for some rain. Now, I certainly don't think it's going to rain all day, mostly just scattered showers, but we will see a chance of rain on Halloween. Now, here's an important little factoid I want to remind folks of. If you have not been outside late or up early the past few days, you may not have noticed that the moon was getting fuller and fuller. It is the October Hunter's moon. It's officially full today at 4:24. You might be thinking, Brittany, how am I going to see the moon at that time? Well, you can't. But the moon rise is going to only happen 2 hours after. So moon rise around 6:28, and then the official sunset is around 6:33. So they're happening at essentially the same time. So as the moon's rising, the sun will be setting, and that's actually going to allow for a really perfect time to get some great pictures, especially with a really vibrant sunset due to some high clouds around. And then on top of that, of course, we're going to have a mostly clear night, so plenty of opportunities to get some shots of that full moon. And as we know, up to the naked human eye, it does appear full typically for at least a few days. The moon will set around 8:31 a.m. tomorrow. So you pretty much have, what is that, 14 hours to get out and get some great photos. We talked a lot about the warmth today on Wake Up Charlotte weekend. 85 is the forecast, 87 is the record. I don't think we're going to get to the record value today, but we'll likely be in the top 3 warmest October 28th ever in Charlotte. Tomorrow and Monday, so the 29th and 30th, we're likely going to tie, if not break those records set back in 2020 and 1996, respectively. So sometimes it's hard to kind of quantify how warm we're talking when we talk about above average heat and above average warmth. But I mean, 10 to 15 degrees above average, and on top of that, record highs are likely again Sunday, Monday. So that's pretty substantial. We're normally in the upper 60s and lower 70s for the end of October. Of course, we talked a lot about rain chances being low. We now are trending a wetter situation with this cold front. What I will point out is just 2 days ago, it was almost completely dry. Yesterday, it was about 20%. So rain chance is going up here, but I'm kind of cautiously optimistic as to how much rain we have. Even if there is moisture falling from the clouds, depending on how dry it is, sometimes that can evaporate before reaching the ground. It's called virga. So I do think at this point it's going to be more of a light rain, kind of patchy drizzle situation, but we will see kind of how things develop here over the next few days. Right now, I'm keeping us just at 50% to kind of show folks that it is going to be raining at times, but it's not going to be raining for the entirety of the day. And this is kind of in line with what Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich was talking about last night on WCNC Charlotte. Uh, Thanks, Kelsey. I appreciate it. In the tropics, of course, it is still October, which means we're still in hurricane season. In fact, we got a month still to go because it's not over till November 30th. A tropical storm Tammy is still out there. Tammy is really not a concern at this point. You kind of see it doing crazy things. I think oftentimes people go, "Oh my gosh, why is it doing that?" I actually did a weather IQ on this a few weeks ago. And if you'd like to watch it, you can head over to our WCNC Charlotte Weather IQ YouTube page, or maybe you're watching this from here, there, but on steering currents. When steering currents are weak in the tropical Atlantic, the storm has really nowhere to go because tropical systems get pulled by the trade winds. And so they actually do need something to kind of pick them up and move them. So when those winds and those currents are weak, it really just kind of hangs out, has nowhere to go. You might remember Dorian back in 2019 did that. And that's why it kind of sat over the Bahamas and created a lot of problems for days with rain and storm surge. So Tammy kind of just has weak steering currents. It's just doing loops out there. Right now, no concern. Elsewhere in the tropics, we are watching an area of interest in the Western Caribbean. Right now, low chance of development the next 2 to 7 days. I'm not too concerned about this, but there are some models that was indicating some kind of low pressure developing. But at this point, it's just an area to watch, and that'll be probably over the next 7 days, if not the next 7 to 10 days, that we'll be keeping an eye on it and just kind of how things progress. Even though it is late in the season, we can have tropical systems, of course, well into November, but that doesn't mean that they're going to impact any land or anything like that. Your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, had to throw this in here just to kind of give you guys a summary again of what we've been talking about. Today, near record warmth, record highs likely tomorrow and Monday. Of course, today, App State is at home at 3:30. Tomorrow, the Panthers at home at 1 p.m. Great weather for both of those games. Do remember, if you're going to be sitting outside or standing outside tailgating, whether it's in the stadium or not, this time of year, the sun angle still can create a feeling of about 10 to 15 degrees above average when you're in the direct sun. So a high of 84 at Bank of America Stadium if you're on that visitor side, which is kind of opposite of where the overhang is. It can feel 94 to 99. So just remember that even though it is late October, it's still that time of year where we can have these warmer days. Same song and dance on Monday, and then it is that cold front coming in, mainly into Tuesday, that will create that chance for some scattered showers. At this point, again, I'm cautiously optimistic that it won't rain all day, but I had to be cute and creative, right, with the spooky showers on the 7-day forecast. And really, after Tuesday, it might be a little bit of a shock to the system. Even though temperatures will be below average, we've just been so warm that I think it'll be even more noticeable than when we get our first real cold front. We're only going to have highs in the 50s on Wednesday. 31 is the forecast low Thursday morning, with 33 on Friday morning. That could be our first frost and freeze at the same exact time in Charlotte, which is not really normal to have the first temperature below about 37, 36 at the same time. But hey, we could see it this week. And it does typically happen with the first frost, at least the first week of November, for that average. So it's happening around the same time of year. But normally it would be the first frost, not the potential for the first frost and the first freeze. And again, I'm talking about Thursday morning. You can see that with a 31-degree temperature, and frost again likely on Friday. So we'll kind of watch how the situation unfolds, with how cold we're expecting to get next week. But I think on Tuesday, as of now, parents should prepare to have probably a jacket ready to go with the kids' costumes just in case, and probably some way to stay dry too. Hopefully in the bag of stuff that you're probably carrying for the kids all the time, you'll have room for an umbrella or a rain jacket of some sort. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Saturday. We will be back on Wake Up Charlotte Weekend tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. And we do have Science Sunday tomorrow around the 9:40 time frame. It happens in that last 30 minutes of the 9 o'clock. And we are going to be making witch's brew with our science experiment. So I'm really excited for that. Have a great, great rest of your Saturday. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.